If you're looking for sexy, this is not the channel. But anywho, video, I've done been there and back, inshallah. I'm gonna make me some tea, but thank you for watching. This has been a really interesting week for me. Friday, I got my freedom papers from the plantation. Was it Friday? No, the 28th is when I got my freedom papers from the plantation, which was very hard for me because as any separation goes, it's, you know, even if they're your abuser, you have like some like separation issues. So today has been a challenging day for me. I could not get out the bed because it was a busy weekend, and I'm just going to give myself grace. Yesterday I had my farming class. One of the things I'm going to do is take advantage of the situation and do the things that I want to do to help me towards my repatriation process. And one of the things is I really want to understand how the earth works, how the garden works, how, you know, the insects, the bees, the pH balance, you know, how important it is so that you can have a healthy and nutritional food source. Because what I'm learning is a lot of our food that we are buying in the grocery store, whether they're greens, collards, carrots, whatever, GMO, non-GMO, whatever it is losing its nutritional value. My goal is not only to learn how to grow food, but to ensure that that food that I'm growing is giving me the nutritional value that I need to sustain a healthy lifestyle. Because what put me in this position in the first place, even though that I'm a vegetarian, I was eating I wasn't eating nutritional food items. I was also emotionally eating unhealthy food items, which caused some major health issues for me. And so I am focused on just learning everything I can about growing, sustaining food, because when I go to Africa, I really would like to create this food forest. A place where people can come and know that everything there is going to give them what they need: medicine, happiness, you know, peace, visualization, beauty. So I also want to know how to grow beautiful things as well as nutritional things as well as medicinal things. And the first thing I'm doing is, you know, I have to also be grateful that Allah, during my displacement of my home, when my home was flooded, put me into a home where I know it's not ideal, but the woman that I am renting from has gave me permission to turn my backyard into a food forest, and I can dig up the land, I can grow food. And for me, this is more of a classroom, because where I'm located, well, that's for another time, but it's more of a classroom for me to understand how food works. So I have some things that I'm going to be playing with. I sat down and really just mapped out how I would like the garden to look. So I did a map of the backyard, and with the seeds that I bought for the fall crop, I kind of mapped out what needs to go next to each other, what is toxic for each other, what you can grow together, what you can't grow together. And I did not realize how much science it was into farming and gardening, but it really is. So I'm going to be digging up my yard and following my outline. And even though I should be planting transplants, which I learned is like you can start the seed indoor, and once it gets a little bit of greenage, you can then transplant that greenage from the container into the ground, and it has a higher chance of yielding you know, a healthy plant versus what I'm going to do. So recently I was introduced to coconut core pith, and never heard of it before. So I'm gonna throw this box away, but coconut core pith. My understanding is it helps with organic growing. So that's what I use for, I mixed it in. My backyard is clay. And so I take a bucket, take this bucket, and I'll put this in it and pour some hot water on it. And what it does, it starts dissolving and breaking away. And then I'll mix it with a little bit of seed starting potting soil. This one is formulated for enriched root growth. So I'll mix this with this and then mix it in with my soil, and then I'll put my seeds inside of it to kind of give it a starting chance. And I'm gonna see how it goes. I don't know if my seeds are gonna start because it's hot. I'm ready to quit. I'm going to be digging up the land and putting seeds in there. So I have a couple of options. I'm going to do I'm gonna plant it. I'm gonna plant the seeds in how I planned it in my map. And then I'm gonna take a small portion of the yard and just throw the remaining seeds in there and just see what pops up and just see what happens to it, like the bugs, like the aphids and the worms and the beetles and all the things that can go wrong with the garden, and see if I can see it in there. And hopefully I see something start popping up out the ground. Yeah, so I'm excited to you know, start my classroom journey, you know, now that I'm free from the plantation of 9 years. Yeah, and if you ever want to follow my journey and see exactly what I am working on or see any of my testimonies, make sure you go to my Instagram, Global Green Book, or Tied by Kidis, TIEBYKIDI, either Global Green Book or Tied by Kidis, and you can check out my journey. One is all about my repatriation and one is about my wellness, and they kind of overlap. So eventually I might get rid of one, or who knows. But anyway, so one of the things that I also learned is very important to understand companion planting, which I didn't know it was so much to it. So I am learning what can grow next to each other. So just so far, I think I've done pretty well with it, because I'm noticing this year my kale, and those who have followed my story before, when I did my kale, it got demolished by the aphids. And what I'm seeing this year, my kale is flourishing, and I have not had any issues of aphid. But I did companion planting. I grew garlic all around my kale, and the only thing I see on my kale really are ants. And I keep checking to see, so I haven't used any fertilizer as yet. And then I got my basil, tomato, and pepper plants all growing together. Now, I haven't got any fruits, but they are flowering. My basil, my understanding is the basil and the peppers protect each other in the tomato plant. So I'm just waiting for my tomato plants to come together. My strawberries and mints are growing together, but I definitely will have to cover my mints and my strawberries in the future, because we have a family of squirrels who are just loving my garden. You know, they come in and they eat all the strawberries, and they'll take little bites out of my basil, and I've seen them, they took a bite out of my eggplant leaf and bites out of my kale. And I didn't realize it until my neighbors who have a full garden told me. And I was sitting out here one night, and right here, I'm underneath the porch, the squirrel was sitting there like this. And I was like, you little sucker. So I have right here, you see, that's my, I think that, oh no, that's the, that's my shovel. But over on the other side, over here, I have a bird feeder. So I'm going to be more diligent of putting seeds in there, because the squirrels tend to stay in the bird feeder. I know a bird feeder for squirrels, but the birds come and get it, but I noticed the squirrels get into it as well. So hopefully they'll stay at my garden. You know, that's what I would like. This video, I've been there and back, inshallah. But that I'm going to make me some tea with this, with coconut core tea. Thank you for watching. This is your girl Empress.